Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our webinar, Interactive Trading Conversations. My name is Simon. I'm a Senior Account Manager with AvaTrade. I've been involved in trading for over 24 years. I started as a prop trader in New York City. And after doing that for about 11 years, I moved on and continued doing things in a different way. And also started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy to have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar, the same way that you so kindly confirmed that you could hear me and see me, you're using the same window to type your questions. So we ask questions about specific assets. It could be specific commodity, index, shares, currency pair, etc. And we'll be discussing. If I know anything fundamental about that instrument, I'll be happy to share with you. And we'll also take a look at the charts, trying to see technical part of the analysis. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com website. And of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet. You have Telegram, you have X, and as I always say, my favorite YouTube channel where you can find a lot of useful information, including educational material, tutorials on platforms, and the webinars. All the webinars that we do at AvaTrade are being recorded and posted on YouTube. So if you miss one or you just like to browse through the past webinars, you can do it anytime by accessing it on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to start with these questions and then we'll continue to the questions that you ask to warm you up. First question, for some people, I know that your regulars here, the answer is probably going to be boring because I've spoken about oil many times, but of course, for new people, it's not, hopefully it's not going to be boring. So the question, what drives oil prices? Oil prices have been fluctuating recently. What are the main factors that influence these moments? And how can traders prepare for sudden changes? By the way, I just want to read something to you that actually just happened. Breaking news about an hour ago. Wall Street Journal title, Israel and Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire deal, opening a pathway to end the 15-month war in Gaza Strip. So I think it's good news, at least from a perspective that hopefully people will stop suffering and dying. It's been going for a while. So why did I mention this with this question? Obvious. Today, a little bit less than 20, 30 years ago, but still situations in Middle East are affecting the oil prices. So I will start with basics. And Eric is asking, actually, Eric, isn't that funny? You're asking here what is driving oil this week? Russia? We don't know. Few things. I go to basics first. Good questions, Eric. I hope you'll be giving us more questions today. Just give an example to a shy audience. So, like I always explain in a simple way, any market has two sides. You have supply and you have demand. Right, and I like to bring a simple example. You know, you go to a market, to a food market, and you're looking to buy apples. If you have 200 people selling apples and 10 people buying it, the price is probably going to be low for obvious reasons. You have more supply than demand, and if the opposite happens, if you really have to buy those apples and there's only one guy selling them and there's a huge line to buy apples that day, so he could probably raise the price just to satisfy the crowd and of course take advantage of a high demand and a low supply. So the same thing, if we take oil, you have the supply part, which is obvious, the drillers and the whole industry, right? And President Trump is assuming his position or becoming an official president of the United States in 5 days on the 20th. So one of his programs or slogans or campaign message was, we're going to drill. So the idea is you're going to produce a lot of oil, and that logically or hypothetically would flood the market with a lot of oil. And they would dilute the price because there would be more oil available. And of course, the Middle East is a supplier. Uh, I think this latest agreement now for the ceasefire could probably quiet things in the region. There's, on the other side is, we don't know what's happening in Syria since the Assad government, fled, or he fled himself, and new government is being formed, and so and so. So the whole region, also Iran with all the issues in nuclear power and so on. So that's the supply, right? We have Venezuela, we have other places. Canada is a supplier, but Middle East, thankfully today it's not so sensitive, because we had times a few decades ago when there was issue in the war in the region. The oil prices went through the roof, and there were actually lines at the gas stations. So that's a supply. Now on demand, it's very simple. Oil is being used in different things, including the, gas for the cars. So when the economy is great, there's a huge demand for things, including oil. China playing a huge role in demand for oil, not just for classical usage of fuel, but also they're being used in making plastic and different kind of production that is using oil as well. So as we know, China has been suffering economically. They did take some measures. We did have a nice move up, and then we retraced about, why don't I show it to you on the chart? There was a huge move here when the China announced first measures on injecting funds and other things, restructuring the requirements for the banks and other things. So huge move. It lasted for about 2 weeks, and then in 2 days, it's my favorite saying. I feel like a parrot. I've been saying it so many times, but nevertheless, they took 2 days to erase the 2-week super steep move to the upside. Since then, we've been making, as you could see here, lower highs and the lower lows. So oil, hypothetically, would be really weak. But something in the past few weeks, oil is actually, after accumulating a lot over here in 60s, we're actually reaching 80 as we speak. And this is the level of August 12th of this year. So strong move on oil. Why? It's hard to say. Is China planning some revolution in the economy? Is anything else? I really don't know. But I do know something. When we reach the level from which we've really sold heavily, we might have, technically speaking, I don't know fundamentally what's going to happen, but as soon as we reach this level, as where we're now around 80, we might have some profit taking. We might have some sellers coming in, or not, because if we zoom out on the weekly chart, we might actually continue to 83, 84 area, and from there to 86, 87. Everything is possible. You know what? Something tells me that we might want to do this. Interesting. Take a look. If you connect the three tops, the trend line, and we broke through the trend line, and on the daily chart, that happened last week sometime, and that could also be triggering the technical buying here. Anyway, so that's oil. All right, that's the first question that we had on oil. And the second part of it, how can traders prepare for sudden changes? I really don't know what's the right way of answering that question. Any trader should be prepared for anything, and we can't control the outcome, but I think for any asset in the world, traders should be prepared to control the losses, to have a strict risk management and money management. And as far as the other part on the profit side, uh, sometimes it's hard to catch the logic behind things. So I think the traders these days are just, one of my friends like to say, trade not what you know, but what you see. And I think he's right by saying that, because sometimes we're so deep, they're saying the paralysis from analysis, right? We try to analyze things a lot. I mean, I give you an example, totally not connected to oil. We just had the NFP numbers last Friday, right? And numbers came, I don't know, 250,000 plus. And normally, logically, that would be really good for economy, right? Great, many jobs added, things are healthy, and the market sold. So try finding logic in these things. But yeah, we can say yes that that affects the Fed's decision, probably less probability of the cuts on the interest and other things. But in any event, you have to be prepared. And this is my title for my Sunday webinar when I say, quoting other traders, you plan your trade, and then you trade your plan. So you have to be prepared for things. Also, when you have oils, you have inventories in oils, you have other things, you have geopolitical, as we said, situation. Eric, I'm addressing your question now. What is driving oil this week? Russia. It could be Russia, but it's very confusing with Russia. They continue selling it. They can't really legally sell it, I think. But I know China is buying it. I know India was buying it. I don't know how true it is, but it looks like U.S. put some pressure on India. If you want to be our friends, don't buy Russian oil. I really don't know, but definitely geopolitical situations are really affecting oil. Absolutely. Second question. Why is gold considered a safe haven? Gold prices tend to rise during economic uncertainty. Why do investors turn to gold, and how can it be part of balanced trading strategy? Gold, again, for some of you, the answer are going to be boring because we spoke about these things, but we'll address the questions, especially for new people. It might be useful. Yeah, gold, classical scenario for gold, it is safe haven. And I like to bring classical example. Any wars through the centuries, we can go back centuries and centuries. Any wars, there was no paper money or anything. Even gold was always a currency that you can just, have some coins, and can go from your country to any country, fleeing from the wars and running away, or just relocating, and then you can use that gold anywhere you go. It has value. So traditionally, the wars or any issues of the sell-off in the markets, any crisis, anything else, I think besides the pandemic, I don't think gold really went up during the pandemic, but the COVID. Anyway, so gold has that title, safe haven. So when the market is selling, or at least used to be, when the market is selling, gold would be gaining from it as money would flow into safety. There are also two other instruments that played, partially still do, maybe. The two currencies, Swiss franc and Japanese yen. But Japanese yen for a while has been super, super weak. It's regaining the strength slowly. So classical three instruments, gold, yen, and Swiss franc used to be safe haven. And it's still working, right? So let's take a quick look at gold, what's been doing. I know recently when the market was selling, the gold was actually having a little bit of a party, right here. And if you take it, there's a reason I did it for showing it to my team. I just created this channel. I've been trading this $125 channel, pretty much $115, sorry, between like 26.05 and 27.20. And there's a lot of accumulation going on here, and I guess we'll find out what's happening next. Besides the safe haven, also he has another title, when inflation is rising. Also, banks, we spoke about it a few times here as well. The central banks actually buying physical gold to offset the inflation. And I mean, that's how it used to be, right? Initially, when the paper money came in, it was guaranteed by gold, right? But then printing business came in, and they just, I think the Federal Reserve started it. They're just printing the money and diluting the currency, and there's no more. I don't remember which president actually established that the dollar would not be connected to gold anymore. I don't want to confuse you, but I think that's what happened a while ago, sometimes in the 20th century. Okay, that's gold. All right, what's next? It is strong today. We had CPI numbers. The gold is moving. Dollar went down. And if it continues, we might try this triple top at the 27.20 level, as I mentioned. Okay, that's gold. Good question. What makes Tesla stock so volatile? I think with Tesla, when I read this question, the first thing comes to mind is actually not the Tesla itself, but an amazing and special person that's running the company, Elon Musk. An example, it's very simple. You remember Tesla was doing great until he decided that he's buying Twitter, which is X today, for $40-something billion. Immediately, the price of Tesla went down, and it suffered since then for a while until President Trump comes to the rescue, which was the other way around. I think Musk came for rescue of President Trump. He helped a lot, including the contributing to the campaign. I think it was about $130 million he spent, but the return was amazing. I think he made, I don't remember exactly now, 60 billion or 100 billion on that, as stock went up right after the elections and continued to make all-time highs. So it's just my observation. If it was a regular, simple CEO, that wouldn't be, jumping and creating conflicts with politicians all over the world, and he's really an amazing person. Let's put it this way. So Tesla itself, like I said, starting November 6th, as the whole market was running, Tesla was running as well. We had a few profit taking, and then we went straight up. I remember day exactly before that, the 10/10/24, which is October 10th, 2024, was a robotaxi was presented, and there was not so positive. Let's see that day. We can find it here. Tesla, yeah, right here. This was the gap. I remember on that day, Tesla went down and Uber went up, because everybody thought if Tesla's robotaxi is not excited, so Uber should be amazing. And this was 10/10 on Uber right here. The next day, Uber gapped up, and since then, we're just going down. I wanted to briefly show you what happened. I remember that 10/10/24. Now, then we had few recalls, which some people reacted to it, but then it said it's not a big deal. It's all just software fix and update. So so far, Tesla did great. We did hit the top in the mid December, and then we dropped below 400, and as of now, as we speak, it's trading at 419. Trump, as we know, Elon Musk is involved a lot. He's going to have this unofficial, quote-unquote, position with the government as a consultant or advisor. Don't know how to. I know the abbreviation is Dodge, I think, which some people say you might bring the Dodge coin up. I mean, all kind of different crazy ideas. Okay. Eric's asking, Tesla is moving towards earning report. Any idea how it will go? Eric, if I knew the earning report and I would voice it out, I would probably be arrested tomorrow because that would be inside information. So obviously I'm not part of Tesla and I have no idea how the report will come. But good question. You made me smile a little bit. I just want to check when Tesla is reporting. Tesla is reporting on the 29th of January after the market. Okay, so we have some time. It's a good company. I think it had a tough path. Everybody made fun of Musk. He slept at his office. He didn't do anything. Just focusing on producing those cars, and I guess nobody laughed afterwards. And today, a lot of automakers are catching up with electrical vehicles, and also EVs. They have it's up and down. It could be controversial, but I see more and more Teslas on the street, and I've never driven one. I like the way it looks. And I think it's a good car and maybe also a good company. But in any event, Trump got a lot of boost into Tesla and the market in general, and that includes crypto market as well. Okay, so that's Tesla question, and that concludes our prepared questions. And guys, I think the podium is yours. I just want to bring it out. Very important. I created this webinar specifically for you to speak up and to come and search and ask for questions. And that's the idea. So I would like for you to really actively participate. So far, I just had 2 questions from Eric, and I have a nice audience here. You might be, not feeling comfortable or shy or anything, but this, that's the purpose, and you don't need to do anything. Just type a question. I'm going to read it, and then we'll discuss it. Okay? We about half an hour into the webinar. We have another half an hour if we do have questions. If not, we're going to wrap it up, which is also fine. But I prefer that we go for it and continue with questions. Specifically or especially for people that will be watching this on YouTube. As you know, if you watch it in recording, you have no ability to ask questions. So your questions here are creating environment of answers for those people, and I think it's worth doing it just to help others to learn things. Okay, guys? So I'll give it a few more moments for you to just just type your questions the same way you confirmed that you could hear and see. Just type your questions into questions window and we'll continue. Okay, I'll give it a moment and hopefully we'll get more questions to continue. Thank you. Okay, no questions. We have a very quiet audience today. Thank you, Eric, for your questions. And I want to wish you good evening or whatever time zone you are. And hopefully we'll see you all next Wednesday with more activity. And again, don't forget about social media. Subscribe, click likes if you're on YouTube. Click on that bell to be notified. Share with people you think might need it. And all the best. We'll see you next week. Take care.